Today we're unboxing the Sennheiser MKE 600. I'm looking for a diverse mic that can be used both in the studio and in the field. First we'll unbox and then do a series of tests in the studio and outside in noisy environments. In the box, of course, we have the mic itself. This comes with an on and off switch as well as a low cut filter switch. Then we have a windscreen to give us a cleaner sound outdoors. A hot shoe mount, which I will not be using. I'll be using a shotgun holder. And finally, an XLR to 3/4 inch jack. Again, I won't be using this. I will be using an XLR to XLR cable only. The mic itself is quite beautiful. Let's take a moment to appreciate its design. I will be testing the MKE 600 against the following mics: the Sony UWP Lavalier mic, the Shure SM27, the Rode NTG2, and finally the gold standard, the Sennheiser 416. Alright, so first let's do a couple field tests outside. We're going to test out the shotgun mics and the lapel mic. We're going to see how they work in a couple environments. We'll bring it back in here, listen to them on headphones, and see what we think of each mic. Then we'll do a couple studio tests with the actual close voice mic against the shotgun mics and see what we think. Alright, let's go out. Okay, so now we're out in the field and we're going to test the mics. We're in an arcade in Bangkok right now, and it's still out here, so I'll just put the mic around to show how loud it's going to be. Moving the mic between the lapel mic that's on my shirt, the Sennheiser 416 and the Sennheiser MKE 600, and this is the mic test between all of them. So we're going to be rotating through the shot through all three microphones. So I want to get a sense of how loud it is, how we're competing with the sound of each microphone. So even though my back is to the audio of this game here, I think the lapel is going to be pretty good for that. But even the shotgun mics that I have here, I have two that I'm holding in my hand, I think also will be getting rid of that sound quite well. And I think your top mic is also on, so we'll hear what the natural room sound is with just the top mic and with all these mics. So I think this is going to sound pretty good. Now another reason I want to do this test is because also visually, if you have the lapel mic, you can always see it. So you're getting that sense of where the audio is coming from. I kind of like the idea of having the mic out of shot because it looks a bit more visually pleasing. And a lot of times we'll do interviews and we're asking people about themselves. And when people ask about themselves, a lot of times they tap, to reference. So they say, I am at the arcade. And so of course, every time the person taps, they're tapping exactly where you place the mic. So that's another reason why I really want to be focused a lot more on shotgun mics these days. So hopefully that's a good test, and we're liking the sound of the shotgun mic more than the lapel. So let's take a look back in the studio. Okay, so I think they sound great. Each mic has a different character to it. I would say that the 416 definitely lets you hear the clarity of the voice and blocks out everything in the background. In one sense, that's great. In another sense, I feel like the MKE 600 and even the lapel mic, they almost sound a little bit more, I would say, natural because you're hearing the full environment because it's super loud in there. I mean, that arcade is blasting music and sound and games. So I would say in one sense that makes sense. So if you're using the 416 to get the clear audio from your direct voice, but then maybe going for another pass to mix in the ambient sound afterwards, you would want to mix that in together. The lapel mic and the MKE 600, I think they sound quite comparable actually. Maybe they have a different pickup pattern about the rumble on the low end for each. But once again, like if you're out in the field and interviewing people, you're not going to be taking the mic off, giving it to them, putting it on. You're going to be moving quickly. So that shotgun mic is really going to help you out. So that test is looking good. Let's do one more at a different location and let's jump out there right now. And we're going to do 3 shotgun mics, the MKE 600, the 416, and the Rode NTG2. So only shotgun mics. Let's take a look. All right, so now we're going to do one more test in a loud environment. We have some air conditioning units here that are pretty loud. I'll point the mic there so you can hear my voice moving away and coming back. And I'm just going to talk a bit so you can hear the difference of the 416. So right now we'll be hearing the 416 the whole time to hear how it's sounding in this environment. Now we'll hear the MKE 600, and let's hear it in this environment for a little bit more, see how this 600 is handling the environment. And now we'll do the Rode NTG. So I'm going to talk a bit more to hear the Rode. So I think now I'll talk a bit more about where we are. We're in Bangkok on a balcony, and we're going to cycle through the different microphones to hear the test of each mic in this environment. All right, so that's 3 different shotgun mics, and we'll listen back on headphones and see which one we like best. So I think those 3 mics sound good. I mean, they're all shotgun mics, so they're going to be blocking out all the background noise, especially those air conditioning units on the side. I'll say the biggest difference I'm hearing is between the 2 Sennheiser mics and that Rode mic. The Rode, I think, has a higher vocal pattern pickup, so I think for my vocal tone it doesn't match exactly, but it might for somebody else. So I think the biggest difference I'm looking now is between the 416 and the 600. And once again, that 416 is cutting through everything in a mix. It's getting rid of all that muddy sound of a background environment. 416 is just cutting direct to the voice, which could be extremely useful for a loud environment. Okay, so now I want to do one more test of just in here in the studio between all these mics, the lapel mic, the shotgun mics, and a Shure SM27, which is a vocal mic. But this is gonna have to have a pop blocker to get rid of the plosives in a lot of these sounds. So let's listen to those now. Okay, so now we're gonna do the final test in the studio. So I'm gonna turn on the air conditioning because I like to have that on since I'm in a very hot country. So I want to look for something where I can still be recording but keep the air on so we're not sweating like a dog in here. Okay, so let's do a test on this lapel mic, and I'm going to keep this mic in the frame for all the shotgun mics. This is on an arm where I can move it around. Okay, so this is the 416, and then I will replace this with the MKE 600 and the Rode NTG 2. Okay, so I'm going to read a passage. This is from Charles Bukowski, and I'll try to give the same delivery so we can have in equal voicing for each mic. And I'll start now. If it doesn't come bursting out of you in spite of everything, don't do it. Unless it comes unasked out of your heart and your mind and your mouth and your gut, don't do it. If you have to sit for hours staring at your computer screen or hunched over a typewriter searching for words, don't do it. If you're doing it for money or fame, don't do it. If it doesn't come bursting out of you in spite of everything, don't do it. Unless it comes unasked out of your heart and your mind and your mouth and your gut, don't do it. If you have to sit for hours staring at your computer screen or hunched over a typewriter searching for words, don't do it. If you're doing it for money or fame, don't do it. If it doesn't come bursting out of you in spite of everything, don't do it. Unless it comes unasked out of your heart and your mind and your mouth and your gut, don't do it. If you have to sit for hours staring at your computer screen or hunched over your typewriter searching for words, don't do it. If you're doing it for money or fame, don't do it. If it doesn't come bursting out of you in spite of everything, don't do it. Unless it comes unasked out of your heart and your mind and your mouth and your gut, don't do it. If you have to sit for hours staring at your computer screen or hunched over your typewriter searching for words, don't do it. If you're doing it for money or fame, don't do it. If it doesn't come bursting out of you in spite of everything, don't do it. Unless it comes unasked out of your heart and your mind and your mouth and your gut, don't do it. If you have to sit for hours staring at your computer screen or hunched over your typewriter searching for words, don't do it. If you're doing it for money or fame, don't do it. So all these microphones have their own qualities, their own characteristics. I think for me, I can easily rank them. I would put at the top the 416, then the MKE 600, then the Shure SM27, then the Sony lapel mic, and then finally, I'm sorry Rode, the Rode NTG2. Now, of course, all these are at different price points. Rode makes some great microphones. This is the NTG2, so it's probably on the lower end of what they're making. Now, I really want to hear what you guys think, so please leave a comment in the description. See what microphones you like the most and what sound quality you like the most. But that's how I would rank them and the order I would go out with them. Right now, I am using the MKE 600 because that's fitting my budget. If I had unlimited funds and an open budget, I would probably go with 416. But this is working really well for my solution right now. And hopefully one day I will then go up to the 416 as well. I want to thank Marc Laban at AsiaWorks. Thanks, man. He lent me the 416 to do this test today. And also thanks to Ben Begley, who helped film all the field tests. So thanks a lot, guys. Let me know what you think, and have a good one. See you.